I'm James, and welcome back to Storytime with James. Make sure you like, subscribe, and leave me a comment if you like. Well, this story is called My Friend Danny. Look, Danny was a likable person. He always had a kind word to say or a funny joke, sometimes corny. Danny would come in the branch just about every other day on his bicycle. He would let me ride it, and I would ride blocks, you know, on his bicycle. So anyway, he would come every other day and visit until one day he came in reeking of alcohol. Yes, and he started telling off-color jokes. He would he was totally out of character. So I told him this. This ain't like you, man. Then he started apologizing, and and tears come out of his eyes and stuff. Then he went home. 3 days later, he returned sober, but with a black eye. It's terrible, man. Black eye. I asked him what happened to you. You know, he replied, "Oh man, I tripped on an extension cord and fell on the arm of the couch." I said, "Yeah, yeah." I said, "Man, you got to be careful. You got to be careful." He said, "Yeah, I do, I do." I didn't believe his story at all. To tell you the truth. But to each his own. If you don't want to tell nobody, then just continue to do what you got to do. The next week, something was wrong with his car. It was in our parking lot. I couldn't find out the problem. I was at work anyway. So I told him, look, you can leave it in the lot if you want to, but you have to get it towed to your house tomorrow. You know, because you can't leave it. It's just like an abandoned car out there, and they would probably get it towed. Anyway, 4 days later, his windows were broken out, and his battery was gone. His tires were flat in our lot. He never came and got the car. So I think that's when everything started hitting rock bottom for him. You know, because he couldn't get around like he used to, and he started drinking more and more, and he would get beat up more, and he would make up more excuses, like he walked into a door or he fell down some stairs. He would have some unsavory people come over to his house that would to get him drunk, and then they would take the little money that he had. Oh, he would get beat so much that he stopped coming around. I didn't see him for 3 months. So I told everybody, I'm going over to his house. I'm going over to his house on my lunch break. He lived like a couple of blocks away from our job. You know, live a couple of blocks away. When I got there, I knocked and I knocked and I knocked. I got no answer, so I started leaving down the walkway. When I heard a feeble voice say, "James,
James,
James."
James,
I turned around
James,
to see an
buddy.
old looking person with a cast on his leg. I asked him what happened. He said, "I fell down and I broke my hip." And his voice was shaking. And it was terrible to see him like this. Danny then said he had I got to lay down. I got to lay down. So I said, all right, okay, I'll catch you later. I told him I'll call you. I'll call you. You know, a couple of months later, a friend of mine's at the job called him and said he said his hip still hadn't healed. It hadn't healed yet. So I told him I said look, he needs to walk. I told him he needs to walk. You don't need to lay down all the time like that. You need to walk on it and get that hip set back in place. You know, you can't do it by laying down all the time. So anyway, that next month I went to the Philippines. When I returned to work, I asked, did anyone see Danny? You know, everybody said no, 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 no. My other friend had called him several times to no answer. Then a couple of weeks later, I woke up and then I checked my messenger, and they had sent me his obituary. Man, it hit me like a ton of bricks. Danny was gone, and nobody knew. Nobody knew. I never seen his family before, you know, although he used to talk about his ex-wife and his daughter. He loved his daughter immensely, but they wouldn't talk to him for some reason. Man. But anyway, they were out of state. They moved out of state. So, man, it's terrible because he passed away a lonely man. It was sad. Look, this holiday, look, I want y'all to reach out to someone you haven't heard from. It could be your brother, it could be your sister, or a cousin, or maybe a friend, you know, a friend you haven't talked to in a long time. That y'all used to be tight back in the day, and you haven't talked to them in a long time. Because that may make their day. You know, it may really make their day. You know, and it could be the last time you get to talk to them. Okay? All right, you guys. Make sure you like, subscribe, and leave me a comment if you like. And hit that bell notification. Hit that bell notification so that you know every time I drop another video. And share, share, share. Share my videos with your family. Share my videos with your friends. Share my videos with your loved ones. And even share it with your enemies. Alright. Peace. Adios. Salamat.